Well, it's time to wrap this broadcast up with the Alderson's Award West postgame show. For trophies, awards, T-shirts, and so much more, go to aldersons.net for their full catalog. Thank you for joining us once again this evening for Friday Nights Under the Lights. It was Josh Geiser alongside Brian Watson, and it is the Adna Pirates coming out victorious tonight over the Napavine Tigers, 28-12, and it was 6-6 at the end of the first quarter. Adna did just enough to creep away, and they ended up never looking back tonight.
Yeah, Adna played a good ball game. I mean, they were able to move the ball up and down the field. They also played very well defensively, and they took advantage of some Tiger mistakes. You look at the two punts down here in their own area, the snaps there. That was the ball game right there.
No, it was definitely a difference maker.
Yeah, you had the safety, and then you also you gave Adna the ball on the 3-yard line, and they punched that thing in. So that was certainly a difference maker there in that third quarter. But if you're Adna, you haven't beaten Napavine in about a decade, so this is a big win for your program.
It's one of those games that these two you have circled every year. It doesn't matter what the teams are, what the records are. This is a good old-fashioned slugfest of a rivalry usually. And like you said, this year was Adna's year, so congratulations to the Pirates on knocking off Napavine tonight, 28-12. But like you said, these two punts deep in Napavine territory really swung the momentum there in the third quarter. That pendulum, they gave them 8 points, and it just never budged away from Adna the rest of the way.
Yeah, good football game though, against two teams that know each other very well, as you mentioned throughout the broadcast. So, maybe we'll get a shot at them again down the road.
Never know. Plenty of weeks still ahead. We'll touch on the schedules for what's ahead, but if you got some stats to rattle off tonight, just see how some of these young men did.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're talking for Napavine, Caleb Von Prestonton was your horse tonight. I've got him for 23 carries and 156 yards. So Caleb just ran the ball really hard. Dean Hamilton, also for the Tigers, got about 60 yards on 13 carries. So heavy workload for Mr. Hamilton. You look at Adna, and then Ramirez was their leading rusher on the night, 14 carries and about 112 yards, it looks like. And Bo Miller had a good second half. He was able to increase his workload. Again, we mentioned it a couple of times in the broadcast. He's been out for a couple of weeks with a high ankle sprain, so good to see Bo Miller back and running hard. And Trevin Salmi, I got to say, starting quarterback for the first time, he came in and played very, very well. He's been progressing each game, and you see him and his connection with Kephart and Humphrey. Trevin Salmi is a good football player as well. We know him on the basketball court, but he's a heck of a good quarterback as well. So good to see him playing well. Overall, a really, really good win for the Adna Pirates.
And let me see here. Well, how about with that, we'll dive into our MVP tonight. So it's time to name our MVP of the Game Award, brought to you by Thorbeck's Athletic Club. Strong today, stronger tomorrow, strongest together at Thorbeck's. I'll let you have the honors. Yeah,
boy, we could have given it to several Adna Pirates. Again, Salmi had a great game. Ramirez, Cash Smith was really good defensively.
Yes, he was.
Had some really, really good hits. But I think the player of the game tonight is Jackson Knittel. He really controlled the offensive and the defensive line for the Pirates. He was physical and strong and a difference maker all night long. So your Thorbeck's player of the game is number 76, senior Jackson Knittel.
No, when he got that anchor in the middle, that's an absolute disruptor. I mean, Napavine, they wanted to run up the middle, and they had some success with it, but a lot of the runs were bouncing to the outside because he had those big two twin boys in the middle just shutting down, him being one of them.
Yeah, so. Helm's the other guy. And how about the touchdown run from Helm? Helm there. Was that a 2-point conversion?
I believe it was a 2-point try, but it was nice to see
he got in the end zone either way.
Yeah. Any final thoughts before we look at the schedule coming ahead for these two teams?
Boy, I tell you what, if you're Adna, you're looking ahead and you're feeling good. You're getting healthy. You got a chance to make some noise as you get through league play and then look into the playoffs. If you're Napavine, you want to try to get healthy. You've just had so many injuries throughout the early part of this season. It's tough to figure out who you are if you've had so many injuries and you're playing a lot of young guys. But, hey, it's still Napavine. Right, they've still got a chance to make some noise here, get some wins under your belt, and hopefully make that crossover game, and hopefully you're healthy by then and see what happens. I believe in Coach Fay and Coach Wilson and the staff and their players. Boy, they got to get some health, though.
I do. We'll talk about Napavine first. After tonight, there is 4 games left. The next one, they're going to be taking the trip out towards the coast. Or no, excuse me, they're going to be playing host as the team from the coast heads their way in to play Raymond South Bend. That is next Friday here in Napavine. And for Adna, they'll be back in the friendly confines of their neck of the woods, as taking the long drive down to come play the Pirates is going to be Fork. So that is what is ahead for these two teams. Napavine falls to 1-4 overall in the season, and Adna improves to 3-2. Well, that puts a wrap on the Award West postgame show. Again, our final tonight was Adna 28, Napavine 12. We'll see you next time right here on the Eli and NFHS Sports Networks. For Brian Watson, I'm Josh Kaiser. Have a good night.